Hey everybody, it's Steve, and it was the writer and novelist Henry James who said, "A writer is someone on whom nothing is lost." And I'm here to say that that should be true, I think, of all of us. That the big experiences of life, even other people's lives, shouldn't be lost on us. We should have eyes to see, to look and to listen and to learn. And I'm here to reflect on some of my recent experience with cancer. As some of you know, most of you might know, I was diagnosed with a prostate cancer this fall, and I'm happy to report that my surgery is under my belt, and the doctors say, medically speaking, there's no more cancer, and there's no need for any further treatment. I am so happy. I am so grateful, and I want to thank you for your prayers and your kind words of encouragement and all kinds of things. But I don't want this experience to be lost on me, and I don't want it to be lost on you. So here are just a few musings and reflections, things that I've learned or relearned, discovered or rediscovered from my experience. Hopefully it helps you. First of all, positivity can have negative consequences. If you know me, you know I'm a really positive guy, and it's one of my Clifton Strengths Finder strengths, positivity. I whistle in the dark many times and find that things that I worried about never really did happen. I land on my feet somehow, and I have an inner cheerleader that tells me everything's going to be okay. Fortunately, my doctors aren't blessed with that exact same amount of positivity. And when they saw that something was wrong, they put on their inner worrywart, and they left no stone unturned, and they made sure they found out what was up. And as a result, I can expect to live a full, natural lifespan. Whatever that is, only God knows, but I would have had less than 10 years to live if this cancer had not been treated. So I'm really, really grateful. I'm really, really grateful for people who are optimists, but I'm really glad for people who are realists, and I'm really glad for people who help me confront the brutal facts. Wonder what you might be thinking about right now for your life. Is there anything that you know you need to be giving some thought to and paying some attention to, and maybe have been like Garcia might in La La Land, la la la, I'm not going to think about it. It might be that this is a cautionary tale to encourage you to pay attention to what you need to pay attention to. So there's my first observation. The second one is kind of hard to kind of hear, but take this in. There's something good in it for you. And that is, secondly, sometimes the cure can feel worse than the disease. In other words, I had cancer, but I didn't feel sick. I didn't have any real pain, but I had stage 2 Gleason 9 prostate cancer, very aggressive and serious, but no real symptoms, no real pain. When I learned that I had this illness, I learned about the treatment plan, and it was going to involve some pain, and the recovery at points was pretty brutal. So short-term pain for long-term health. Sometimes that's the path. And so when somebody speaks to you and calls you out and says, here's the truth, here's what you need to see, don't run away, don't resist, confront the brutal facts, and take your medicine now. As my urologist said when I had to cancel my plans to go home to California for Thanksgiving, he said, stay here, have this surgery, and there will be many more Thanksgivings. I didn't like hearing that. I didn't want to hear that. But in the end, he was right and I was wrong. And I'm really glad for a worrywart gene that some experts have. it's interesting that Henry James, who I quoted earlier, I really like to do a little research on people when I find an interesting quote. When he was a boy in the late 1800s, his family lived in France for a period of time, and he learned French. Now, in his native tongue of English, he had a stutter. But when he learned French and spoke French, he did not stutter. Now, to me, that's this crazy mystery, but maybe somebody out there will understand or can explain to me how that could be the case. But I found that to be really, really interesting. But again, some challenges require more than a change of venue or a change of language. They require a surgery. So here is my final observation. I have many other observations, but for this conversation, here's my final one, and it leaves you on a higher note. You don't have to get sick to get the message. You don't have to get sick to get the message. That's my third insight for you. I was speaking with a friend who was lamenting how in her lifetime she had not been able to achieve some things and prioritize some things that were important to her. She told herself that someday she would get around to this and to that. And then lamented to me, and I feel like I'm running out of some days. And you know, the truth is we will all run out of some days someday. And you don't have to have a wake-up call from your doctor to get that message. You can learn from somebody else's cautionary tale. You can pay attention to your own heart and your own conscience and get your business done. So we pray with Moses, who said, teach us to number our days that we may have a heart of wisdom. And wisdom will put first things first and pay attention to things before somebody forces us to pay attention to them. So I'm wondering what's on your mind. I'm wondering what you're thinking about as you look back on 2022. What were your learnings? What are you happy about and proud of? What do you regret? What is still unfinished and you have had another year and you've just not gotten around to it? In 2023, I'm hoping to lead you into some explorations of how you can get traction and how you can get momentum and prioritize some things that are really important to you and make this a year where you are fully alive and fully engaged. I'll leave you with this final quote from Henry James. He says, it's time to start living the life you've imagined. And so I hope that you will ponder some of this. And I'm wondering some takeaway questions. What's happening in your life that should not be lost on you? Are you willing to hear what you need to hear versus letting positivity get the best of you? What do you intend to do someday? What business do you need to get done? I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, and I'd love you to share this video with anyone who you think might need a little encouragement, a little exhortation, a little word of wisdom. Take care of yourself. Lots of love to you. I'll see you soon with some of my 12 days of soul care. So we're working on those now. We'll get those into your inbox. Take care. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye.